Salam, everybody. This is Investor Sheikh back at it again with another video. Now, before I tell you today's halal stock pick, I want to give you a little background information. So, in this picture you're seeing right now, this is the lawyers that defended O.J. Simpson during his infamous trial. Now, this is known as the dream team of law because this is the most elite group of lawyers teaming up to get a not guilty verdict. Now, one of these men is important because he is the CEO of the company that we're going to talk about. The man in the middle is Robert Shapiro. This is the man that we're going to focus on today. So Robert Shapiro is an American lawyer, and he later turned to civil work and co-founded ShoeDazzle, LegalZoom, and RightCounsel.com, appearing in their television commercials. So the company that we're going to talk about is LegalZoom.com, ticker symbol LZ. And on Wikipedia, it is described as an online legal technology company that helps its customers create legal documents without necessarily having to hire a lawyer. Available documents include wills and living trusts, business formation documents, copyright registrations, and trademark applications. The company also offers attorney referrals and registered agent services. So ticker symbol LZ. And another description is LegalZoom is a disruptive innovator in the market for legal services. Its efforts to utilize computer technology to provide affordable and accessible legal services have been noted by both the American Bar Association and in the business press. LegalZoom claims the use of computer technology often results in lower prices for the specific services it renders than those charged by traditional lawyers. The company asserts that this disruption benefits people who otherwise could not hire a lawyer by expanding their access to legal services. And this company was founded in 2001. So in the grand scheme, it's relatively new. So this is basically a disruptive company that allows individuals to use services that may require a lawyer without the need for one. So that would save you money in having to hire a lawyer to do all the paperwork for you if you're determined to do so yourself. Now, one of the examples would be to set up an LLC. You may need to have an attorney to help facilitate the registration process, but you can be able to do so through LegalZoom by yourself. That's typically the way it would go. In theory, this does sound pretty useful for the individual because they're saving money by doing the work themselves, kind of like doing your own taxes without having to hire a tax preparer or an accountant. Just buy TurboTax and file your own taxes and save money that way. This is the same logic, but applied to more of legal documents when it comes to businesses, estates, wills, and such. So in a way, this is disrupting the legal services. So let's take a look at Zoya. And the stock price is currently at $24.21. It is Sharia compliant. And some key stats are: it has a $5 billion market cap. It pays no dividend. The 52-week low is $24.83 and the high is $40.94. So right now the stock price is close to the 52-week low. So it's currently trending downwards. And no PE ratio or earnings per share. So this company is relatively new in the stock market as it IPO'd in 2021. So on Yahoo Finance, as we see, the stock has begun trading in July. And it started off at around $37 and was cruising in the high 30s, low 40s. So it was mainly in the high 30s throughout the summer. And then it began the downturn trend. So right now it is decreasing, and it is currently experiencing the lowest stock price it has ever been. So when you're encountering a stock like this is what we would refer to as a falling knife. because it's really hard to determine when the stock is going to bottom. Now, this could go down to like the teens or even $10 a share. And this is typically the problem with IPOs. This company IPO'd this year, so usually with IPOs, there's a lot of hype around them and people start buying them, and they tend to be starting off at a high price, but eventually you start to notice a sell-off. Maybe because those that work with the company can now have access to some of the stock that was paid out. Maybe it was invested, so they were able to sell their shares and get the money. So there are reasons behind that. And many companies have experiences like Palantir, Snowflake, Robinhood. A lot of sell-offs happened, during the IPO phase. So that's something to look out for when it comes to investing in IPOs. Personally, I would not invest in them immediately because it could be hit or miss. They could shoot up to a really high number, or they could just start crashing like LegalZoom. So that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, over the past month, this is where you start to see much of the decline, because it was as high as $36 and then basically lost a third of its value in 1 month, which is insane. But if you are an investor that likes to pick out stocks at a good value, this may be a good buying opportunity if you believe in the company, of course. As I described earlier, this is a disruptor in the legal services. So this could very well be a stock that Cathie Wood might consider adding to the ARK ETF. Not saying she will, but given the fact that it is an innovative stock disrupting the legal services industry, this could very well have a promising future if people do value the services that LegalZoom provides. Again, this is all based on theory versus practice. In theory it's good, but in practice, can this be a moneymaker for the company? That's something that you have to figure out as an investor. So let's take a look at the financials a little bit deeper. So as you know, it has a $4.77 billion market cap, so slightly lower than what it was shown on Zoya, but roughly $5 billion market cap. So you have to ask yourself, with this industry, can they have a higher market cap than $5 billion, or is it overvalued? That's another question that you need to ask yourself. I can't provide those answers myself. So that's why it's very important to do your research individually. So this company is recent, so they don't really have much earnings to show, but they did say that it beat earnings in Q2 of 2021, and they currently do not have any Q3 data. Again, this company is recently in the stock market, so not much information is available at this time. So let's take a look at the earnings performance. So you see there was an 8-year gap because the company was private during that time. But as you see here, revenue is growing year after year, which is really good. Although it would be nice to see the data between 2012 and 2018. Nonetheless, this is really good performance that we're seeing right now. So the annual revenue is increasing. It's the highest it has ever been in 2020. And quarterly, you see here quarter after quarter growth. So 2021 is looking really good for LegalZoom in terms of the revenue. Although in 2021, you start to see negative earnings for the first time, as in prior years, the earnings were positive. And I don't think they have any analyst data right now, so they don't have any price targets for the stock, unfortunately. It says error retrieving data. Maybe they don't have any analyst data. So let's take a look at the financials a little bit more. So looking at the income statement, the company is not profitable, as with many growth companies. It currently has a negative net income of $29 million. And looking at the balance sheet, it has $133 million in current assets, $252 million in total assets, and $802 million in liabilities. So this is a major red flag to look at right now because the liabilities exceed the assets greatly. Now, one of the issues is the long-term debt that they have. $512 million in long-term debt. So this is debt that they can pay off over time once they start to achieve profitability. And again, this is very common with a lot of growth stocks. Some of them, they will rely on debt to continue operating, as the debt will pay for their operating expenses. And soon enough, once the company starts to generate more revenue, they can be able to pay off this debt over time. So that's one of the things to look out for with this company, is whether they can actually pay off this debt within the next few years. And the current debt that they have is really minimal at around $3 million. So that's something to take into account with this stock. Given their excellent annual revenue performance, but due to its recent addition in the stock market, there really isn't much information available for analysts. But given the stock price and how it has been decreasing in the past month or so, this may be a good stock to look at to put in your watch list, just to keep a good eye on it. Because right now, I don't even know if this stock is going to bottom. I don't know if it will start to bounce back to the 30s. Only time will tell. So for me personally, I am keeping this stock on my watch list. I'm not purchasing any shares at the moment. Once I feel like this stock is at a good price for me to buy in, I may build a small position. And as always, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do not buy LegalZoom.com stock simply because I'm talking about it. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This is Investor Shake checking out. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up.